Good evening and welcome back to 49 News. I'm Casey Nyman.
And I'm Brandon Alper. Tonight we will be taking a look at things happening on and around UD's campus, while also taking a step back for worldwide views. 49 News starts right now.
First, starting with Delaware-specific news, the Delaware Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control announced Wednesday that trout were stocked in White Clay Creek to provide anglers opportunities to fish for them this fall and winter. Around 1,000 pounds of trout were stocked into the creek. A Delaware trout stamp is required through November 30th to fish, and the daily possession limit is set to 6 trout. The Delaware State Police is investigating a 3-vehicle injury collision that occurred Thursday. A Tesla Model 3 was first seen speeding by police on I-95 southbound before causing the incident on Route 896. Upon investigation, the 3 passengers were unrestrained and in possession of 30 grams of marijuana. They were transported to an area hospital. The other 2 vehicle operators were wearing their seatbelts and also transported to an area hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. Officials suspect impairment was a factor in the crash. Results from a toxicology exam are currently pending. Shopping local just got a whole lot easier. Just around the corner, there are numerous opportunities to support small businesses, owners, and find high-quality products. With the crisp fall breeze settling into the Newark air, now is the perfect chance to get outside and explore the community. Located around campus is a plethora of hidden gems. A local favorite for many is the Co-op Farmers Market hosted by Newark Natural Food Store. Located just a short stroll away at the end of Main Street in the Newark Shopping Center, the event takes place every Sunday, rain or shine, from 9:30 to 2 p.m. If you're looking for the perfect autumnal activity, the market is host to a variety of different vendors. From freshly sourced produce to scented soaps and my personal favorite, coffee, there's something for everyone to enjoy. Consider supporting local businesses and chatting with the amazing people who run the stands each week. The vendors hold a high passion for their products and offer a shopping experience like no other.
Well, because we are all local, we are artisans, we really put our hard work into it, family recipes, traditions, we do everything by hand, freshly prepared and made, like arts and crafts, everything is done by hand. So I think that people should come and support us so that we can continue to bring up some unique experiences.
While it may be easy to pop into the grocery store, the market ensures that you are buying top produce from a showcase of high-quality farms. Seeing where and who is behind the sourcing of each product is extremely impactful. UD students were anticipatory to shop.
I do. I think that a lot of these businesses, like a lot of college students are just like, they do what's easier. That's usually just like the big stores like Acme and like Food Lion and stuff, Trader Joe's. It's just like, it's something fun to do, and it also, again, supports local businesses.
On top of showing support to local farms, there is also the opportunity to indulge in unique handmade items found nowhere else. Beyond food, there are tables with handcrafted and artisanal items. For those sick and tired of dining hall meals, this may be the perfect option to load up on healthy, homely ingredients. The market is a great activity for everyone, from students to families and even your pets. Be sure not to miss out as it runs through November, or keep it in mind for a spring activity when they reopen for the season in May. For 49 News, this is Casey Nyman.
The University of Delaware Center for Political Communication polls is showing that 50% of voters will be voting Democratically towards the U.S. House. Democrats are on the top for upcoming elections for the U.S. House Representative and State Attorney General. Additionally, there has been a significant gender gap in polls, as women are voting a lot more than men. Overall, the state of Delaware is looking to be Democratic in elections to come. This past Saturday was a day dedicated to our favorite furry pets. Nicole Travis has the story.
This past Saturday, October 22nd, 2022, us 49 News reporters celebrated National Make a Dogs Day. Whether it be a long car ride with the windows down, getting a delicious pup cup from Starbucks, dressing up for the holidays, sitting for treats, or just having fun running around the yard, our dogs for sure had their days made. Not only did the 49 News crew celebrate the day, but TikTok creators also spend time spoiling their furry friends.
I picked some colors. Yellow is sunny like me. Squish. Under my little feets. Let's go.
National Make a Dogs Day is about spending time with our dogs, but it's also about encouraging people to provide better conditions for all dogs. Companies such as Subaru utilize this National Day to raise money for local shelters and have saved 350,000 pets since 2008. If you, the viewer, have any interest in donating or adopting a forever friend, stop by Humane Animal Partners, formerly Delaware Humane Association in Wilmington, Delaware. We, as people, mean the world for a dog, and it is time we ensure that they get everything they deserve. Make every day, make a dog's day. For 49 News, I'm Nicole Travis.
Aetna had their flea market this past Saturday, giving local entrepreneurs and vendors a chance to sell their merchandise.
Aetna recently had their flea market this past Saturday, with members in the community selling created and/or used goods to buyers.
I sell wreaths and custom wine glass candle holders.
This is a perfect opportunity for local artists and entrepreneurs to showcase their creative ability.
I buy the disc, they're just a wood disc at the bottom. Build my little scene. For this one, it's the bees. Then I take the wine glass, put it on top, super glue it down there, and then decorate the glass.
You could find sellers of any sort at the Aetna flea market, with lip gloss packages, necklaces, earrings, and lighters being only some of the finds.
Enough of us seeing what the vendors are selling. Let's check out why the flea market is good for the community.
It brings the community together, and it shows the community that Aetna is open for them and that it's a way of welcoming people into the firehouse.
The Aetna flea market also brings a social aspect to the community, making it very easy to make friends.
Today I met about 6 other women that we are now going to be friends. We've already made plans to hang out and do crafts together. So we're sharing all of our ideas to make some beautiful things.
And last but not least, Aetna's flea market is a great way to keep the economy rolling.
Well, it brings people out, brings them close together, and actually adds to the economy, keeps money moving without being credit cards and all that. Keeps a little cash moving around. And like every man says, you got to have a little money in your pocket.
Next time you want to buy or sell goods, or meet a friendly, tight-knit community, Aetna's flea markets are the way to go. For 49 News, I'm Brandon Alper.
Good evening, Newark. I'm Laura Daly with today's weather update. It's been a dull and gloomy day with on and off rain and overall not a great day to be outdoors. Looking at UD's Star Campus earlier today, cloudy skies were on the agenda and they have not left our site. The overcast was constant with occasional drizzle this morning that led to many using umbrellas to help keep them dry. Not only was it damp, but we also had some considerable winds earlier today, adding on to the miserable weather. The mix of decreased visibility from these conditions and some slippery wet leaves still on the ground made way for more dangers on the road, so please continue to be extra safe, especially while driving or walking at night. Currently, the temperature is sitting around 60 degrees with clouds still over the area. We have a high dew point today, so the air is very saturated and very humid. Our local satellite from UD SEMA reflects these conditions quite well. We can see that system that has been circulating over our area all yesterday is slowly moving into the Atlantic. Clouds are stretching over the rest of the Northeast, where they are also experiencing similar temperatures. Zooming out on the rest of the country, we have another large low-pressure system sitting out over the Midwest, bringing rain from Wisconsin down to the lower Mississippi Valley. It is led by a cold front that is carrying gusty winds and some severe weather to the south as it travels eastward. Louisiana should be on the lookout for the line of thunderstorms to head their way tomorrow morning. As for the tropics, the season is beginning to settle down. With only about a month left of hurricane season, we don't expect too many more tropical systems to develop. However, a few more named systems are still very possible, and we could be looking at one right now. This is an invest sitting in the Atlantic to the east of Bermuda. The system is starting to become more organized, and this could heavily impact Bermuda within the next 48 hours. The National Hurricane Center announced this invest has a 70% chance of tropical development. Whatever it becomes, Delaware should not be within the storm's track, and it is looking to break apart as it reaches the cooler waters and wind shear over the northeast. Turning back to the forecast, overnight conditions remain similar to what we saw throughout the day. There's a chance of showers in the overnight hours and possibly during that morning commute. Cloudy skies will also continue into tomorrow. Looking at the 3-day forecast, temperatures are fairly warm the next couple days, reaching around 70 degrees. But those clouds will not leave us alone quite yet. That second area of low pressure I mentioned earlier starts to make its way over to us by Wednesday, bringing more clouds and possible showers.
Thursday, the system moves out and we finally see some sun. It should be a beautiful day with mostly sunny skies and temps in the mid-60s. Now heading into Halloween weekend, temperatures are looking pretty mild the whole weekend. Temperatures will stay slightly cooler, around 60 degrees, with nicer conditions on Friday and Saturday. And then there's a chance of some Halloween rain coming our way next Monday morning. Hopefully, any rain in the area will be long gone before the kids head out trick-or-treating. That's all for your forecast this week. I'm Laura Daly.
Hello, I'm Ryan Mink, and this is your UD Sports Update. Over the weekend, the football team secured a homecoming win against Morgan State with a final score of 38-7. Quarterback Nolan Henderson completed 13 passes for 206 yards and a touchdown, while also leading the rushing attack with 65 yards and another score. The defense was lights out again, only allowing a total of 158 yards. Delaware heads back to the road for another tough CAA matchup at Elon on Saturday, October 29th. Kickoff in North Carolina is set for 3:30 p.m. The girls field hockey clinched a share of the CAA regular season championship with a senior day victory over Hofstra with a final score of 6-4. Delaware's 6 goals was a season high for the Blue Hens, and each goal was scored by a different player. In addition to the win, midfielder Ashlyn Carr was selected to the 2022 National Field Hockey Coaches Association game, while goalkeeper Lizzie Gibbill was selected as an alternate. The Blue Hens concluded the regular season with a road game against number 24 Penn on Sunday, October 30th at 1 p.m. Both soccer teams traveled over the weekend to take on their opponents. The men's soccer team defeated Penn on the road in a tight 1-0 victory. Justin Roof recorded his first goal of the season for the only score of the game, while Adam Vick, who was just named CAA's Defensive Player of the Week, recorded his 3rd shutout of the season with 4 saves. The team will head up to number 8 ranked Maryland tomorrow for the next match. The women's team fell to Drexel on Sunday with a final score of 2-1. Zoe Smith scored Delaware's only goal, and the girls finished their season with an overall record of 2-11-5. The women's team claimed the ITA Atlantic Region Doubles Championship. This is the first time in women's tennis program history that the Blue Hens have claimed an ITA Regional Championship. The team will compete in the ITA Fall National Championship starting Wednesday, November 2nd in San Diego, California. This has been your Sports Update. I'm Ryan Mink. Parking fines in Newark might be as high as $70 to start the next year, which is almost double of what they already are.
The new recommended fine for common parking violations would initially be $70, with a 50% discount if paid within 15 days that would cost a total of $35. Under current law, the fine for an expired meter and most other common infractions is $20, and if the fine isn't paid within 30 days, late penalties and other fees increase it to $49. The new format was proposed by Renee Bensley, the Director of Planning and Development for Newark, and believes that this new format of parking fines will enable higher payouts and save both time and money for everyone.
Because it's a really big administrative time cost for us to have to send repeated letters and remind folks that they have this due and to increase the fees and things like that. So we're hopeful that by providing an incentive structure that people will pay earlier on their own and we won't have that additional staff burden.
The new proposed fine would be a 75% payment increase in comparison to the current fine policies. More serious violations also follow the same format. For example, the fine for parking in a handicapped space would increase from $100 to $230 and would total $115 if paid within 15 days following the same format.
With payment for parking around campus and UD Parking Services having a reputation for giving out copious amount of tickets, it can be frustrating for a student at UD to get a ticket for a minor inconvenience.
I was going to class one day. I was in a rush, so I parked my car, paid for parking, and ran off to class. And when I came back, I found myself with a ticket, and it turned out that I had inputted the wrong location. So I appealed, and originally the parking services weren't going to do anything about it, and I persisted, and they finally allowed me to get the money back from the fine.
The proposed format is expected to pass City Council and become implemented at the start of the new year. So make sure you're following Delaware parking guidelines the next time you're out in town. From 49 News, I'm Ryan Mink.
Thank you, Laura, and Ryan for the weather and sports updates. Continuing with University of Delaware related news. On October 20th, 20-year-old Samir Ruffin from Philadelphia was charged for a dating violence incident in a University of Delaware dorm. The charges included strangulation, unlawful imprisonment, terroristic threatening, and offensive touching. According to officials, Ruffin does not attend the University of Delaware. This October, the Harrington Theater Arts Company put on a production of Shrek the Musical in Pearson Hall. Sarah Carolla went to check it out.
The Harrington Theater Arts Company put on their production of Shrek the Musical. The show was a spin on the childhood classic, filled with even more laughs and the addition of fun, catchy music numbers.
This show is just so much fun. It's so joyful, and I think that the cast is having so much fun, and that makes the audience have so much fun. And I think it's just an all-around positive experience. Like, everybody walks out here smiling.
HTAC is a student-run theater group at UD, so accordingly, the actors, directors, choreographers, stage crew, prop coordinator, and more were all UD students.
And then getting to get here and get people actually moving and doing what we had been working on for so many months and seeing it brought to life was amazing. And not to mention that I also have so many friends in this cast that seeing them bring to life something that I worked so hard on just like made my heart sing and dance.
For these students, theater is more than an after-class pastime.
I think, honestly, throughout my 4 years in HTech, I've just gained so many new friends. I've gained honestly so many leadership skills and organizational skills, time management skills, just because of how my role works. And it's been so fulfilling for me, and I hope for everyone else. And I've just gained different perspectives on things, how people see things, and it's just been a really awesome experience all around.
The Harrington Theater Arts Company worked night and day for 5 weeks to put on their production of Shrek the Musical. This show is a wonderful display of teamwork, and it also showcases how much the arts and theater are a part of the culture here at UD. After the show, I spoke to some audience members on their opinions and reactions to Shrek the Musical.
I genuinely was shocked out of my mind by how much I was moved by Shrek the Musical. I was genuinely moved.
Shrek the Musical was absolutely amazing. You can just tell how much fun the cast was having and how much time and effort they spent and put into this production.
This show is just another example of how moving the arts can be and why organizations such as HTAC are so important to college communities.
You should totally prioritize the arts in college. I think it's such a nice way to escape from the stress of college and academics and everything and just, be silly.
The Center for Clean Hydrogen was dedicated by the University of Delaware and Chemours on Wednesday, October 19th. The goal of the center is to produce clean hydrogen so that wind and solar energy sources can be more efficient. The center will play a major role in creating clean energy jobs and strengthening national security. After Ryan Carty returned this year as Delaware's football head coach, UD has seen an explosive start with 5 straight wins this season. The 39-year-old is intent on cultivating a legacy founded on strength, growth, longevity, and success. Carty's legacy that he plans to leave behind is that of somebody who leaves Delaware better than he found it. With University of Delaware's homecoming weekend just finishing up, students held strong feelings about the success of the festivities. Emma Schneider went to check it out.
Homecoming weekend is an exciting time for students and alumni alike, with returning alumni and students preparing for the homecoming game. The University of Delaware had many homecoming festivities this past week and over the weekend, including a Homecoming Spirit Day on the green with free shirts, free food, games, and a UD sighting. Along with Homecoming Spirit Day, there were many other festivities during the week to make students excited for the big game against Morgan State that wrapped up the week with a win for the University of Delaware.
The University of Delaware has a lot of different events for homecoming weekend, but there are a lot of different opinions on the success of these events.
I would say a lot of freshmen appreciate it because it's something to do. I really love it. A lot of my friends go to it as well.
With lots of different activities for the students, the university has lots of opportunities for the students to get involved. But students are unaware of these events and agree that the events are more driven by friendships over the university's promotions.
I don't think Delaware really puts an emphasis on that much. So I would say when it comes to alumni weekend and everything, that's more friend driven. Yeah, you're just here for like I honestly didn't. I wouldn't have known it was alumni weekend if it wasn't for like my friends. No, I didn't know there were any.
The University of Delaware takes a lot of pride in the school spirit of their students and alumni, but without more emphasis in marketing of their events, students have to work harder to find out about when activities are happening around campus. This will likely lead to these events relying on word of mouth from friends rather than driven by university officials.
I feel like the only people I know who are coming back are people coming back because my sorority invited them back, and they want the free travel.
Hopefully, there will be better communication between the university and the student body for details surrounding upcoming events on campus, translating into better turnouts. For 49 News, I'm Emma Schneider.
Finally, news at a global scale. Turkeys will be hard to find and more expensive this coming Thanksgiving. Outbreaks of the avian flu already killed 7.3 million turkeys this year. Farmers also found this season tough to keep up with supply shortages and labor demands. Researchers suggest buying a turkey and freezing it as early as possible to ensure the holiday favorite will make it to the dinner table. Repair Together is a large network of people in Ukraine that have been raising money to bring young people to clean up destroyed villages and homes due to the Russian invasion. The organizers hope to restore a sense of community in Ukraine due to the war. The group focuses on how the volunteers are normal people rather than builders who want to help out the less fortunate. Although this is such a tumultuous time in Ukrainian history, these volunteers are attempting to have as much fun as they can by listening to music and connecting with others while cleaning. The Philadelphia Phillies are going to the World Series. Gina Cosenza went out in order to discover how UD students feel about the recent string of Phillies sports success.
We're talking about the Titans here. The Titans!
What a time to be a Philly sports fan. With the Eagles starting the season 6-0 for the first time since 2004, and the Phillies playing postseason baseball for the first time in more than a decade, fans are ecstatic. Whether you're a die-hard Philly fan who never misses a game, a casual observer known to partake in the occasional tailgate, or a sports atheist, you may have noticed a lot of talk around campus about how hot Philly sports are right now. The Phillies, Flyers, Eagles, and Union have all seen great success in the past few weeks, and fans have hope.
The fact is that all these Philly sports teams are doing very well, and it's all happening at this one moment in time.
All of the success of Philly sports begs one essential question. Do people on or around UD's campus care?
No. I'm from New Jersey.
Not really, but I see everyone around here wearing Phillies jerseys. I'm not going to lie. I have seen like 5 of them today.
I've been a Philly sports fan since I was basically born. I think there's a big mix, and I think people care about it because it's pro sports.
But Delaware is a melting pot. Regardless of hype in the area, students may keep their biases toward their own personal home teams. Nonetheless, no one can deny that Philadelphia sports teams are on top.
Whether or not people know it, they kind of have some idea of what's going on, regardless of whether or not they follow it, whether they care, and so on.
For 49 News, I'm Gina Cosenza.
Hey everyone, I'm Emma Schneider here with your entertainment news. Hollywood is mourning the loss of an icon. Just earlier today, at the age of 67, comedian and actor Leslie Jordan has passed away after police reported he had suffered from a medical emergency while driving. He crashed his vehicle into the side of a building. Jordan was best known for his roles in Will and Grace and American Horror Story. He was also an author and wrote multiple books throughout his career. More information about the accident is still developing at this time. Midnights is off to a record-breaking start in the first few days following its release. It has already become the top-selling album of 2022, selling over 800,000 copies in just 3 days. The only other release this year that has come close was Harry Styles' album, Harry's House, back in May, with 600,000 being sold after its release. If Midnights reaches number 1 on the Billboard 200, this will mark Swift's 11th chart-topping album. Rapper Travis Scott has shut down rumors circulating about him cheating on his longtime girlfriend, Kylie Jenner. Instagram model Roisin Carr shared videos and pictures of her behind the scenes at a shoot for one of Scott's music videos, making it seem like the two were meeting up in secret. Scott responded to the backlash explaining that Carr was sneaking photos on what was supposed to be a closed set and that he does not even know the woman that shared these posts. Carr is not backing down from her claims and is insisting that Scott is lying and did cheat on Kylie, with whom he has 2 children with. New American episodes of All American, The Good Doctor, and Dancing with the Stars all aired this week, as well as highly anticipated horror movie Pray for the Devil, in theaters this Friday, October 28th. That's all the entertainment news we have for you tonight. I'm Emma Schneider.
For the update, Emma. In continuation to global news, as winter approaches, the coronavirus still poses a threat this cold and flu season. With new Omicron variants, the virus is strengthening, which is an especially fearful fact for the 7 million U.S. adults who have autoimmune disorders. Research continues in terms of experimental antibodies. However, experts expect them to not be ready for up to a year. Nonetheless, the CDC still encourages everyone to protect themselves by getting their vaccines and boosters. Halloween usually is seen as a pretty big deal to college students, and the overall anticipation around the annual event is pretty outrageous. Meg Rossler went out to find more.
The second the leaves begin to fall and the weather cools down, it is not uncommon to hear discussion of Halloween and everything associated with it. It seems as if the anticipation around the beloved holiday begins earlier and earlier each autumn, especially on a college campus. Students as far as months in advance begin their plans for extravagant costumes and social events, but students have a lot of different stances on the high stakes revolving around Halloween.
I think one costume is enough. We're both fashion students and we learn a lot about overconsumption, and I think people buying like the Shein costumes, like multiple of them, just to post on Instagram is kind of ridiculous.
I love it. Weekend's like my favorite time of year. It's just fun.
Everyone that I talked to is very excited. Everyone's got like 4 costumes and everything, so I look forward to it.
There are a lot of different social pressures that come along with Halloween as well. Feeling the need to have better costumes compared to previous years, having expectations to go out with friends of multiple nights of the weekend, and especially the extreme sexualizations of costumes are very apparent. It's well known that on any college campus, Halloween creates a lot of chaos, however, not always the good kind. Alcohol consumption on the holiday nearly doubles for college students, and 9.3% of men, as well as 6.6% of women, have reported blacking out from binge drinking in celebration of the holiday. Crime rates on average increase 17% above normal according to Travelers Insurance, and drinking and driving incidents skyrocket annually on October 31st. In order to stay safe on this rather crazy day, make sure you know your limits and be aware of your surroundings at all times. For 49 News, this is Meg Rossler.
That's all we have for you tonight on 49 News. Thanks for joining us, and tune in to our next show on November 7th.
Be sure to follow us on social media at 49 News. It's been a pleasure being your host tonight. I'm Casey Nyman.
And I'm Brandon Alper. From all of us here, have a good night and stay safe.